The 15th century marked the dawn of one of the most transformative periods in human history, the Age of Exploration. This era would forever change the world, not just through the discovery of new lands, but through the expansion of knowledge, the spread of cultures, and the complex web of trade that connected distant parts of the earth. It was a time when intrepid sailors, bold navigators, and visionary leaders sailed into the unknown, driven by curiosity, ambition, and the dream of discovering new worlds. Chapter 1. The Dawn of a New Era. At the end of the 15th century, Europe was a continent on the verge of great change. The fall of Constantinople in 1453 marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, creating a ripple effect across the world. The Mediterranean routes, once a primary means of trade and contact, were increasingly controlled by the Ottomans. Europe, particularly Portugal and Spain, faced new challenges in maintaining trade with the East, especially for precious goods such as spices, silk, and gold. As the Ottomans blocked traditional land routes to Asia, the desire to find a new sea route to the east became more pressing. In Portugal, Prince Henry the Navigator, a patron of exploration, became a key figure in the Age of Exploration. He encouraged the development of new navigational tools, such as the astrolabe, and sponsored voyages down the west coast of Africa, seeking to unlock the mysteries of the Atlantic Ocean. His efforts laid the groundwork for the great voyages that would follow. By the time Christopher Columbus, an Italian navigator, approached the Spanish crown with his ambitious proposal to sail westward to reach Asia, the stage was set for a new chapter in human history. His vision, though controversial, was not an isolated one. Many scholars and navigators believed that the earth was round and that a westward route could lead to new lands. Chapter 2. Columbus's Bold Voyage. In 1492, with the support of Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand of Spain, Columbus set sail with 3 ships, the Santa Maria, the Plata, and the Naye. His journey, which began in the Spanish port of Palos de la Frontera, was a gamble. No one knew if there were indeed new lands to the west, or if Columbus would simply sail into an endless ocean. After weeks of sailing, doubts began to surface among the crew. The winds were unpredictable, and the sight of land seemed distant. Columbus, determined to succeed, urged his men to continue. On October 12, 1492, land was finally sighted an island in what is now the Bahamas. Columbus, however, believed he had reached the East Indies, and thus the natives he encountered were dubbed Indians. What followed was a complex and often tragic history of encounters between European explorers and indigenous populations. Columbus's voyages to the Americas marked the beginning of European colonization of the New World, a period that would shape the history of the Americas for centuries to come. Chapter 3. Vasco da Gama and the Sea Route to India. While Columbus's discovery of the New World was revolutionary, it was Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer, who would open up a new sea route to Asia, completing what Columbus had begun. In 1498, da Gama sailed around the southern tip of Africa, Cape of Good Hope, and reached the shores of India, opening a direct maritime link between Europe and Asia. For centuries, European nations had relied on dangerous overland routes to trade with Asia. Da Gama's successful voyage meant that the spice trade, along with other valuable goods such as silks, became directly accessible by sea. This was not just a geographical breakthrough, but an economic one. Portugal, along with Spain, became the dominant powers in maritime exploration, establishing colonies and trading posts across Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. By controlling the sea routes, Portugal and Spain gained immense wealth, which in turn fueled further exploration and expansion. In 1494, the Treaty of Tordesillas, brokered by the Pope, divided the world between the Spanish and Portuguese spheres of influence, with the line of demarcation running from the North Pole to the South Pole. This agreement would eventually give rise to an era of imperial rivalry as other European powers, including France, England, and the Netherlands, sought to carve out their own empires in the New World. Chapter 4: The Conquest of the Americas. As the Spanish and Portuguese navigated the oceans, they encountered vast, unknown lands. Columbus's discovery, which was initially viewed as a strange and wondrous anomaly, soon became the gateway to the Americas. The next phase of the Age of Exploration was characterized by Spanish conquistadors, who sought to conquer and claim the newly discovered lands.